知道，上午跑了一圈就成这。
这够爆炸了，晒脱皮了嘛？这晒干了，这上面经过暴晒。
For 6 consecutive days, a heat warning has been issued, with parts of northern and central China expected to be roasted. Starting from June 8th, extreme high temperatures have been observed across many regions in mainland China. After June 10th, some areas in Hebei, Henan, Shandong, and the Guanzhong Plain in Shaanxi and Xinjiang saw temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. Just how hot are these deep red areas on the temperature maps? A woman in Pingdingshan, Henan, found that the shrimp on her balcony had turned red after waking up in the morning. She believed the high temperatures caused the water to overheat, killing the shrimp. Another person thought the ground temperature was too high and used a thermometer to measure it. The mercury in the thermometer rapidly shot up, and it seemed like it might explode from the intense heat. There are also some funny videos made by people showing the effects of the heat. For example, a cola can about to explode, slippers melting and sticking to the ground, motorcycle seats that are too hot to sit on, melted fans and tires, dead rats and candles that can't stay upright, and eggs that can be cooked directly on the ground. A woman who was using a pot to fry an egg said, "I've let this pot here for a few hours and it's so hot that it's smoking. It's unbelievable." Behind these funny clips is a lot of hardship. The high temperatures have greatly impacted people's lives, but they use humor to cope with the extreme weather. One of the hardest jobs in this weather is being a delivery person. They work non-stop under the scorching sun, and they're often badly sunburned.
You'll know how hot it is in Henan in a moment. After just one round of deliveries this morning, I ended up like this. I'm really impressed.
On June 7th, the China Meteorological Administration announced that from June 8th to June 13th, high temperatures would hit southern and central parts of northern China and the Yellow River, Huaihe River regions. After the 10th, the heat would intensify, with some areas in southern Hebei and Henan exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. At 8 p.m. on June 7th, the Central Meteorological Observatory issued a yellow high-temperature warning, predicting sustained high temperatures from the 8th to the 13th in southern and central northern China, the Yellow River, Huaihe River region, northern Jianghan, and parts of Xinjiang and western Inner Mongolia. On June 7th at 11:20 a.m., the Shandong Provincial Meteorological Observatory issued a high-temperature warning, predicting that inland areas of Shandong would see temperatures above 37 degrees Celsius from June 9th to 14. This heat wave is notable for its duration, extent, and intensity. From June 10th to 13th, the heat wave is expected to be at its strongest, with parts of southern Shandong and Guanzhong Plain in Shaanxi and northern and eastern experiencing temperatures as high as 39 to 42 degrees Celsius. In some parts of Henan, road surfaces have even reached 60 degrees Celsius, leading to the humorous scenes filmed by locals at the beginning of the video. According to the chief forecaster at the National Climate Center, the high temperatures in China this summer have arrived relatively early. A netizen commented online, "This is really bad. 2 years ago it was floods. This year it's high temperatures. Henan, located in central China, is experiencing extreme heat and cold. What about other regions?" In response to the heat, several regions have issued high-temperature warnings. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs and the China Meteorological Administration jointly issued an agricultural warning for high temperatures. On June 12th, most parts of Henan experienced temperatures exceeding 35 degrees Celsius, with some areas reaching up to 43 degrees Celsius. Drought monitoring showed that 16 out of the 18 cities in Henan and 72 national meteorological stations reported severe drought conditions. Amidst this, the internet was flooded with the cries of farmers. Due to the drought, the seeds they planted might all die, leaving them with no harvest.
God, and the experts of China, please have a look. Give Henan some rain. Henan is in severe drought, with continuous high temperatures and no effective rainfall for the past 2 months. The ground is cracked, and the rivers are dry. The autumn crops have died as soon as they are sprouted. The fruits in the orchards aren't growing. The surface temperature has reached over 40 degrees Celsius. Look at these sweet potato seedlings and scallion seedlings. Just 2 or 3 days without watering, and they've all died. Farmers are waiting by the wells, enduring 40 degrees heat, to irrigate their fields. They eat and sleep in the fields, struggling day and night. Farming is hard, and it doesn't make money.
Another man sitting beside his parched land said sorrowfully,
Heavens, please look at how dry this land is. Wheat production is down, and we can't grow corn. The wells are dry. Please give Henan some rain. Don't make life harder for the farmers.
In an effort to save their crops, farmers have even drained nearby rivers and wells, but the drought persists. If this continues, even the local water supply will be at risk. A woman said,
Look
"Look how dry Henan is. All the water in the rivers and ditches has been drained. This used to be a big river full of water. Now it's completely dry." In a video, the water in the Yellow River appears to be drying up. Many household wells have been dry for days. People believe this is the worst drought in decades for regions like Shandong and Henan. The sudden cracks in the roads and the fissures in the farmland reveal the extent of the situation in central China. China's official CCTV news also reported on the drought. So what is the true extent of the drought situation right now?
Since May, our province's rainfall has been more than 70% below the long-term average. More than half of the meteorological monitoring points have reached moderate drought levels or higher, with areas of severe and extreme drought continuing to expand. As of June 12th, the drought has rendered 500,000 acres of land unfit for planting.
The man in the video, Yang Wentao, director of the Flood and Drought Control Division of the Henan Provincial Emergency Management Department, is well versed in Henan's drought situation and proposed several measures to mitigate the effects. First, ensuring drought-resistant planting by managing water sources in river and lake irrigation areas, and expanding the area of drought-resistant planting. For plain irrigation areas, making full use of electric wells and ensuring their proper maintenance to combat drought. Second, ensuring drought-resistant seedling protection by organizing irrigation for already planted drought-affected areas to promote seedling growth. If rain is forecasted, seizing the opportunity to conduct artificial rain enhancement operations and completing planting as quickly as possible. Finally, various departments, including emergency management, agriculture, rural affairs, water resources, and meteorology, are to dispatch multiple teams to the severely affected areas to guide local cadres and people using all available facilities and equipment to scientifically fight the drought and protect the seedlings. There is currently no concrete data to prove the effectiveness of these measures. Shaanxi and Anhui are also deeply affected by droughts. On June 11th, the Shandong Provincial Hydrology Center issued a blue drought warning, mentioning that due to high temperatures and little rainfall, the water levels of some in Shandong are continuously decreasing. Data shows that this year, Shandong's average rainfall is 98.8 millimeters, which is 27% less than the same period in previous years and 22.5% less than last year. On the same day, the Anhui Provincial Department of Water Resources initiated a Level 4 emergency response for drought defense in 7 cities, including Hebei. According to forecasts from relevant meteorological departments, the northern part of Anhui will continue to experience high temperatures, with some areas reaching up to 40 degrees Celsius before June 19th. The former director of the Flood and Drought Disaster Reduction Research Center at the China Institute of Water Resources and Hydropower Research, Lu Juan, pointed out that this is the 3 summers period, encompassing summer harvest, summer planting, and summer management. Currently, winter wheat is being harvested across the country, and summer planting is underway. Some fields waiting to be planted are suffering from drought. Consequently, crops like corn and soybeans, which are in the germination stage, urgently need water. To address this, it is essential to scientifically allocate drought-resistant water resources to enhance irrigation and ensure the water needs of planted crops. Economic crops like fruit trees can use measures like covering and sprinkling to reduce temperature, while irrigation in the early morning and evening can minimize water evaporation. For vegetables, covering the soil with straw and crop stalks can lower soil temperature and conserve water and moisture. Lu Juan also mentioned the need for real-time monitoring of soil temperature and humidity to detect changes in soil moisture promptly. Relevant departments can use remote sensing technology such as satellite monitoring for rapid detection of large-scale drought areas. After detection, it is crucial to promptly issue warning information to farmers and related departments and disseminate it through various channels such as television, radio, and the internet. This enables farmers to take appropriate drought-resistant measures in time. However, the implementation of many measures appear overly idealistic, and their effectiveness is not yet yet proven. Therefore, the drought situation is likely to continue. In recent years, due to the El Niño phenomenon, extreme high temperatures have been a recurring issue every summer, becoming a global disaster. This year, global temperatures for the first 4 months have hit their highest levels in 170 years, with countries near the equator experiencing temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius. In extreme cases, countries like India and Thailand have even seen temperatures reach up to 50 degrees Celsius, nearing the limit of human survival. Reports indicate that hundreds of people in India have died from the heat, and Europe is experiencing similar conditions. Historically, such high temperatures have led to global losses amounting to trillions of dollars, even affecting the world's economic structure. This is not an exaggeration. For instance, wheat, one of the most directly affected crops, faces reduced yields this year in Ukraine and Russia. These two countries account for 1/3 of the world's wheat exports. Reduced yields have already led to a 12% increase in U.S. wheat futures prices in May. As a unique commodity, reduced agricultural production often means prices will continue to rise, potentially leading to a global food crisis and food wars. China's future might be even more challenging. Due to insufficient domestic production and reliance on imports, reduced global production could force a decrease in imports. In this situation, domestic grain production must increase to compensate. On May 23rd, Voice of America reported on China's ambitions to ensure food security, mentioning that China has set a goal to significantly reduce its reliance on overseas purchases of grains, soybeans, and other agricultural products within the next decade. At the end of April, the Chinese government released a document aiming for a 92% self-sufficiency rate in major grains and legumes by 2033, up from 84% in 2021 to 2023. This is in line with President Xi Jinping's goal of becoming an agricultural powerhouse by mid-century. Less than 2 months after the release of this document, China began experiencing high temperatures and drought. Many wheat and corn crops withered soon after sprouting, making it difficult to maintain normal yields, let alone increase production. Reuters quoted 5 analysts and industry executives concluding that China will struggle to achieve its agricultural goals primarily due to a lack of land and water resources. China must significantly boost agricultural productivity using genetically modified crops and expand planting areas to meet its 10-year projections. In recent years, in addition to limited land and water resources, China faces the major obstacle of extreme weather. In recent years, extreme weather in China has increased significantly. Besides the northern high temperatures and drought, the south has experienced continuous heavy rains, leading to flooding in nearly 6 provinces. According to the China Meteorological Administration, heavy rains are expected to continue in the Jiangnan, South China, and Southwest regions from mid-June, with 3 rainfalls from June 11th to 19th accumulating 30 to 70% more precipitation than usual for this period. On June 10th, the Ministry of Water Resources issued a flood report stating that from June 11th through 15th, heavy rains are expected in the Jiangnan, South China, and Southwest regions, with multiple rivers in 6 southern provinces experiencing significant water level rises, indicating potential floods. The Sichuan Provincial Water Resources Department reported landslides in Hekou Town, Yajiang County, Ganzi Prefecture, with 2 people missing and 912 people evacuated from 2 prefectures. While crops in the north are dying from drought, those in the south face the threat of being submerged by floods. Flood scenes are recurring yearly, happening earlier and becoming more severe. Recently, Heilongjiang, a major rice-producing region, has been hit by floods. In one incident, a bus driving through flooded streets looked more like a boat. Before the heavy rains, sudden dark clouds appeared, reminiscent of the recent unexpected heavy rain in Beijing. On the afternoon of May 30th, Beijing's sky suddenly darkened, accompanied by strong winds and torrential rain. The wind reached level 12, with speeds of up to 132 kilometers per hour. Many old trees were uprooted, and some people were blown over and couldn't get up. Locals found the sudden storm terrifying. What caught netizens' attention the most was the Spider-Man outside the CCTV building, swinging in the storm. These Spider-Men were more than 10 cleaners suspended on the glass curtain wall of the CCP headquarters during the storm. In the viral video, a sudden storm left the cleaners hanging outside the CCTV building, unable to retreat from their high-altitude positions in time, causing them to sway dangerously in the wind. Nearby office workers told the media that the scene they witnessed from inside their building was even more terrifying. They believe the company involved bears significant responsibility for not having personnel monitoring the weather. Meanwhile, some tourists in the Forbidden City witnessed roof tiles being blown off by the strong winds in Beijing. In a video, the sky was pouring rain while multiple tiles suddenly fell, causing tourists to gasp in surprise. The tiles shattered upon hitting the ground. Most tourists were taking shelter from the rain in the gate arches, so no one was injured. One netizen who saw the tiles fall commented, "I picked up a piece of a 600-year-old artifact, but the staff said it had been repaired many times, and the tile wasn't 600 years old." Another netizen replied, "The falling tiles are a bad omen. They never fell before, but now after repairs, they're falling. It shows poor craftsmanship. It could be a celestial warning of something significant, like when the meteor fell in 1976. The meteor event of 1976 refers to the meteorite that fell shortly before the deaths of Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, and Zhu De, and the Tangshan earthquake. Just as with today's extreme weather in China, countless people suffered during those disasters.